Come one, come all. It's Friday. It's the early line. It's the SportsGrid Network. It's your boy DRS. It's Joe Ranieri. We've waited a long time, and I feel like, Joe, this is your team. Like, we uncovered this months ago. Like, hey, Miami of Ohio's a pretty decent team, running the table, 15 wins, 16 wins, 17 wins. Maybe they're going to get tripped up at some point here, but there's no way they're going to run the regular season as the only Division I team that's undefeated. We talked about, hey, is Nebraska going to get there? Of course they weren't going to get there. Ooh, can Arizona stay there? Nope, they couldn't stay there because elite talent plays each and every night. You're going to get knocked off somewhere, and it's hard to win every one of your games, particularly in college basketball, where home team has a major advantage. They're at home. You take a look at Miami, Ohio, Joe. Here we go. Unbeaten, one last game in the regular season. They're going to take on Ohio. So Miami of Ohio taking on Ohio tonight. The Bobcats are at home, but the Bobcats opened up as getting 6.5 overnight, Joe. See that graphic? It's down to 5.5. Heavy ticket count on Miami of Ohio for this game tonight, but the line is dropping a bit. 159.5, Joe. Give you the floor. What's your spread line? Miami, Ohio versus Ohio.
First of all, how is this game not primetime, ESPN, ABC? Like, there is, what else is going on tonight that could possibly be a better story? I mean, we're talking about the single best underdog story of not just this season, maybe of the last decade here, a potential 31-0 finish. I mean, just unbelievable what's going on. The problem is the market has been fading Miami of Ohio now for about the last month, Donnie. There's been a lot of people looking to make money with Miami of Ohio not covering. They didn't cover last time, don't forget, right? Toledo was by the hair on their chinny chin chin, a 1 second left layup is what did it for them. They're going to get the best from Ohio tonight. Ohio, this is their national championship, the Ohio Bobcats. They don't like each other as it is. This is going to be an all-out war. It's must-watch television. Having said that, yeah, Miami of Ohio has knocked them all down before. I don't see any reason to doubt that they're going to win this game again here tonight.
Now, I can't look, go undefeated. And it's almost like, I want them to go undefeated in the regular season, Joe, and win their conference tournament. So they come in with even more panache. Like, hey, we didn't ask for anything. We didn't need a favor. We just handled our business. But part of me, Joe, wants them to go undefeated and then maybe get tripped up in the MAC tournament and then have, people on TV tell us like, oh, well, that's just not good enough with that record here and who they played. Madness here. That's what March is made for. Miami should be in regardless if they win tonight or even their college tournament. How about that coming up next week? How about VCU Dayton, Joe? The A10. Two really good basketball teams going to take flight tonight in Dayton. The favorite, the Dayton Flyers at home, -1.5 against VCU in a total of 148.5, Joe. A10 action. What's your spread line tonight for this one?
And this is another one of those huge rivalries, Donnie. VCU and Dayton have been going at it for a long time here in the A10. In fact, I believe VCU, though, has won, 9 of the last 13? They're 4-1 at Dayton Arena, which is where, of course, they have played the first 4 in. They've played that tournament there ahead of time. Dayton, listen, they're going to have to win some games here in the Atlantic 10 tournament one way or the other. But VCU also needs to win this game because this will mean nothing to the Atlantic 10 where, I mean, my goodness, they have done nothing but beat each other up all year long. Dayton has looked the part for stretches this year. VCU has looked the part for stretches this year. Somebody's got to win this game, but something tells me, Donnie, it's a pick 'em for a reason. Got to give the edge to VCU here. They have just owned Dayton recently.
Let's head over to New Jersey tonight for some action in the Big East. That's St. John's crossing the river to take on Seton Hall. The line opened up overnight there at -5.5. Now shows at -4.5 this morning, despite only 17% of the tickets here coming in on Seton Hall. 136.5 is the total in this game, Joe. Big East battle, St. John's and Seton Hall. What's your spread line tonight?
Listen, Seton Hall, I can't imagine Seton Hall getting into the tournament, Donnie, without a win here tonight, right? They've got to be able to win against a top 25 team, right? The problem is the only teams that they have beaten inside Ken Palm's top 75 are all named Providence. That's not great. Against the league's top 3 teams in the Big East, Donnie, they're 0-5 and likely about to be 0-6 here. So it's unfortunate. Rooting for Seton Hall all year long there with Holloway, but you're just not going to beat the Johnnies here tonight. It's not going to happen.
Sometimes in our early lineups here, we have some really interesting topics I have to double back on because you might be watching and passing it. Did they just say that out there? What are they talking about? Yes, an assistant coach in college basketball Division I was an alleged part-time pimp who would make his rounds but still coach basketball, and that was under wraps for quite some time. Now it's not under wraps, Joe. Who would have thought we'd find out on March Madness? This is the madness that we were finding out, that we might have pimps in college basketball. How about that?
Yeah. How did that team lose a game, Donnie? I mean, you would have thought, right? I mean, recruiting must have been fantastic going to Cal's, right? You should have gotten every recruit that you ever wanted in that place there. But, I mean, my goodness. How long was that going on before you actually got caught? I bet you it wasn't a week, Donnie. I bet you it wasn't a week. That's for sure.
By the way, in that graphic that we just posted up there, it almost is like, hey, if you're watching, the coach of the pimp, was that guy the pimp? So that guy probably getting an insignificant shout out right there. Like, why'd you put me on that graphic? I'm not the one pimping at this point right now. It's a shame. What an interesting story that would take national precedent, where it's like, okay, a team that's not going to make the tournament here. But by the way, that coach been pimping in 4 different states, allegedly. Kind of insane the way you talk about it here. Also insane, when you're on the basketball court, decorum is what you figure you would have. But sometimes in the heat of the moment, you lose your cool just a little bit, which means a ref gets smoked and knocked out on the court and players are suspended. Some people say, Joe, in basketball in the NBA, they don't care about the regular season. Well, this is now the postseason of college basketball. Apparently, these ladies cared so much that they were throwing bows out there.
Haymakers, Donnie. Absolute haymakers, man. I mean, throwing from all over the place. Might have been the most impressive thing about that game because the basketball certainly wasn't exciting at all. But you got to love the rival. You got to love the nature where we don't like you, you don't like us. You got to love that little old school basketball there, little street yard and, playground basketball. You got to love it. It just got a little bit out of hand there in that game.
Yeah, just a little bit out of hand. Knockout punches here at this point. And you got to say, I don't know if they stretched the referee off at that point, but obviously going to the monitor to review everything. Yeah, things took place, but suspensions are actually happening. But also, Joe, college basketball, and factor this under, Joe. Why do we do this? And nobody asked for it, and we don't need it. The LED courts coming with mixed reviews. First of all, let's take out what the players are talking about, how it looks like. How about this? Yeah, the court's kind of cool, Joe, but it is kind of slippery out here. What are we doing, Joe? Start here with this. If the court is slippery, what are we doing?
Well, you're going to have a lot of guys slipping and falling and twisting ankles and doing all sorts of things there, Donnie. It's just a matter of time. But you know what? Get a lot of great ad dollars, though, can't you? Just got to make sure that you can read the floor. But, yeah, something is terrible is going to happen here. I mean, of all the things to mess with, don't mess with the surface on a basketball court. Of all things, please. And already the players hate it. But you know what? Isn't that going to be a little blinding, too, at times, Donnie, as you're trying to dribble up court and, getting out in transition and all of a sudden, a commercial comes on and you can't see where you're running? I just don't get it, man. I really don't.
We've been through it in college basketball and the pros, Joe. It's like, hey, works really good? A nice wood court out there. Great, let's play on it. And they go, what's even better? Let's put a giant basketball sticker at midcourt and we all slip on it. We don't know why, but it looks good for TV. Second part of this equation, Joe. Yeah, the LED looks cool at this point, but does it? The graphic that shows a gray court, there's a reason why the court isn't gray. It's not aesthetically pleasing here, and it's not fun to watch, right? NBA courts are wood. Hey, look, the logo's on one side here, the wood court. It's very nice and very easy to see. Why would you have a gray court, Joe, show up on your TV screen? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. Nobody wants this.
It doesn't. No. And again, Donnie, there are some things that should always remain the same, right? You should never mess with the surface in anything. I mean, the NFL, they still have issues with, is it turf? Is it grass? Is it grass and turf? What is it? Just leave the basketball court alone, please.
It's an LED court, so here's what's going to happen. Forget about the people we're going to hack into the system and put funny things on the court. Answer me this, Joe. Big 12 championship game for the men's here. Coming down with 1 minute left to play. You're down 3 points. LEDs go out for the 3-point line.
Yes.
You just say, oh, well, let's play this out, and we'll get the refs like in Major League Baseball. The umpire's like, my strike zone. Yeah, that looks like a 3, and that was good. You know, at the worst possible time, Joe, we are going to have an outage, and we're all going to laugh because and say, like, why did we need this?
Yep. Yeah, we don't. And the answer is, Donnie, we don't. But you know what? The NCAA feels like they need it because the advertising revenue is probably going to be through the roof. Once again, they're just another avenue to make money.
Miami, Ohio versus Ohio tonight. And if you're not paying attention, you should be. ESPN2 tonight, national stage. Why is it important? A perfect regular season is in the balance. And the one thing that we do like, Joe, and can appreciate it sometimes as well, they didn't knock off Gonzaga early in the year. They didn't beat Duke early in the year. They didn't have a Michigan win. But the fact of the matter is, it's also not like, Joe, they went through their entire schedule beating everybody by 25 points and nobody can touch them. This team is battle-tested. They've been in the final minutes of game down points and had to come back and win games in overtime multiple times here. So it'll be fun to watch. But that game board, once again, for Miami of Ohio, they're the favorites tonight against Ohio. You know Ohio would love nothing more than put a blemish on that record as they head into their conference tournament here tonight, Joe. So favored by a handful of points, let's call it. Miami, Ohio's on the road. What is your confidence level tonight that at the end of the night we'll be like, damn, they did go undefeated?
Well, I mean, let's start with what they did back on February 13th, right? Where they took on Ohio at home and promptly smacked them and won that game, Donnie, 90-74, right? So we've already kind of seen this and what this looks like. And in that game, Donnie, wouldn't you know it, they went 9 of 18 from three-point range here. That's the big difference between these two teams. Number one, you got Miami of Ohio's offense has done great on the road all season. You know, they're 14th in the country in points per possession on the road, Donnie, and they shoot about 38% from three on the road, which puts them 27th best in the country. So Ohio is about the interior, is about the paint. They don't shoot the three very well. They don't defend the three very well. And 3 being more than 2, Donnie, tells you everything you need to know about the math in this game. Listen, Miami, as long as the nerves don't get to them, they should have no problem beating the Ohio Bobcats here tonight and covering. But again, you're going to get the best effort here from this Ohio Bobcats team. This is their national championship game tonight.
Since 2000, Joe, we got a graphic here. Teams to start 30-0 or better. Miami of Ohio, obviously doing it this year here. Taking a look at Gonzaga, 2021 here. 31-1 is where they finished. Lost in the national championship game. Kentucky in 14-15, 38-1. They lost in the Final Four. And then that Wichita State team, which came out of nowhere, which was absolutely fantastic. 35-1. They lost in the round of 32. I believe that game was to Kentucky back then. But also looking at these games coming up, Joe, you got to get through that conference tournament. You got to get into March Madness. But, man, you can just stamp it, man. We went undefeated in the regular season. Hang that banner.
Well, but remember, too, I mean, I think there's 7 undefeated teams, right, in the regular season. Every one of those undefeated teams, Donnie, you know what they did? They made it to the NCAA tournament, right? We're here. We're talking about a 30-0 team, possibly 31-0, and we're saying not enough. They got to go ahead and win their tournament in order to be able to get in. That's how ridiculous this is with Miami of Ohio and Bruce Pearl and others. Nobody wants to watch a 500 TCU or Auburn team. I'd much rather watch the team that goes 30-1. Even 31, even if they lose tonight, or 31-0, Donnie. I don't care what they do in the MAC championship.
In New Jersey tonight, St. John's coming over to take on Seton Hall. This is an interesting matchup where you see the lines here. Right on St. John's, it's called -4.5 points. But understand this. There's 11 teams in the Big East. 10th in efficiency on offense is Seton Hall. Number 1 in efficiency on defense here is St. John's. Where are the points coming from is the question tonight for Seton Hall. But also, more importantly, can they get inside that spread number?
Again, we saw this game, right, once before, and Seton Hall kicking themselves because they had a 15-point second-half lead against the Johnnies and ended up losing by 5 in that game. It's all about the physical play, right? That's all it is. But, you know, the Johnnies don't get pushed around all that much there. And, you know, they gave up 18 offensive rebounds to Seton Hall, the Johnnies did in that game. Pitino is going to have these guys ready. Pitino does not want to lose to Seton Hall. Doesn't care about the feel-good story, how great it would be. It's all going to be about rebounding in this game. If the Johnnies keep Seton Hall off the boards, they're going to cover this number and likely win by double digits. If not, well, it could be a sweat job here for Pitino and the boys.
Let's get to the Fade the Public poll here, Joe, and have some fun with this. Bring it up, people. Let's go.
What y'all think?
Still waiting, Joe. That was a pretty good slip right there. I like that. That could be edited in that way. That's actually perfect the way it is. But our Fade the Public poll deals with Miami of Ohio. Before I get to the question itself, Joe, let me ask you this. Let's take the equation of the MAC tournament out next week, right? Let's leave that alone. If Miami of Ohio loses tonight, do they deserve to be kicked out of their at-large bid status?
Yeah, no. I think the conversation to me is moot. The minute you get to 30-0, Donnie, it's what are we doing here? Because the alternative is then what? A 500 TCU? Like, yes. I would much rather see Miami of Ohio in. Absolutely.
Question was asked to the people today. Will Miami of Ohio finish off the MAC regular season undefeated, Joe? Yes, no, and Bobcats plus 195. Wouldn't no be Bobcats really plus 195 then, correct? Come on now.
That would, yes, but no. Miami of Ohio wins tonight, and Fish is there. But it would be, I mean, Ohio's money line is not again, you got a lot of guys looking at the market right now. A lot of guys looking to fade Miami of Ohio again tonight, but I don't see it, Donnie. I do not see it happening.
But yeah, like it should be like yes, but then there's no, and just put Bobcats plus 195, right? Wouldn't that have been the same response? We should have delayed it out. So I guess we can have 7.
Yeah, probably two. Well, you give more people selections, Donnie. You know what happens. Yeah. The more is not better. I mean, yes, more is not better. Guys are running around North Jersey at 2 a.m. right now trying to make up these SportsGrid highlights right here. So that's what you get sometimes. But hey, we got best bets on the way, people. Fire it up for some bye. Come on, Joe. It's Friday. It's payday. Give the people what they need. Yeah, by the way, if your answer was no to that, you should only play it on the money line. By the way, tonight, another game I don't understand here in the Summit League. Denver and North Dakota. They've played twice this season, and both games we got to witness zero defense. In fact, 179 points in the first one, just about that in the second one. These are the two worst defenses in the Summit League. I got no problem going over the 160.5 in this one, Donnie. I don't understand the under money. It's over for me.
Prediction Markets Edge right here on the early line, a Friday edition. Basketball, and more basketball coming your way. On this point, it's Donnie right side, and it's Joe Ranieri. Joe, feeling good about this show. A big weekend ahead, which includes Sunday, daylight savings. But before we get there, we got a lot of basketball action to talk about, and I'm ready to go. How about you?
I am ready, Donnie. We got a lot happening over the next 4 to 5 weeks, so I am looking very forward to it, including what's going to happen here in the World Baseball Classic.
How about this, Joe? Let's start in college basketball, taking center stage tonight at 9 p.m. from Athens, Ohio. It's Miami, Ohio, taking on the Ohio Bobcats. Why is this important? Well, supremacy is on the line for being unbeaten in the regular season, something we don't see quite a bit here. Since 2000, only a few teams have done it. Miami looking to close the deal. For them to win tonight outright, Joe, on the Kalshi Marketplace, they're now currently trading at a 69% chance. If they win by 5.5 points, it's a 51% chance. But the question on everybody's mind, Joe, is will Miami of Ohio be unbeaten, and can they win this basketball game? They're favored to do that.
Yes, they are, and I think they absolutely win. I mean, I think currently you're looking at probably minus 240, 245 in books around all over the place. I think you're right around that price here with the prediction markets as well. So if you think Miami of Ohio gets it done, then do it. By the way, I'm not opposed to laying the points in this one either here, Donnie.
Should be a fun one to watch. Again, national stage, 9 p.m. on ESPN2. You can watch that play out and also understand this as we talked about in hour number 1. It's been a little bit of a bumpy ride for Miami of Ohio. So the expectation for them showing up tonight and just blowing the doors off Ohio, could it be? Maybe. But the expectations are this game is going to come down to the final few minutes and a lot of people watching and seeing if they can be undefeated. Because if they are, I think that stamps that ticket here into March Madness with an at-large bid, regardless, Joe, of what happens in the MAC tournament, which will take place next week. Let's keep it in the A10 in college basketball tonight. Another big game on a Friday night, which you love to see. It's VCU taking on Dayton. This game going to be played in Dayton. And Dayton is currently trading at a 53% chance to win this game. VCU, the dog, trading at 47%. If we're looking at a point spread tonight here on the Kalshi Marketplace, Dayton by minus 2.5 points is trading at 45%. So a $100 investment for them to win by 3 points, Joe, that will pay back $223. VCU Dayton tonight. Good one in the A10.
It's a great one, Donnie, and it's one of those situations where, listen, these are two rivals, but VCU, certainly in this building, has kind of dominated the Flyers over the last 4 to 5. So I think 4-1 now is what they are on the road in this building. And styles make fights right now, and VCU shoots the three very well. Dayton doesn't defend it very well. Also, Dayton gets a lot of their points in transition off of turnovers. The problem is VCU doesn't turn the ball over all that much. So it's not a great matchup, even though it's at home for Dayton. I think VCU here is looking at a nice little bit of a dog here, but I do think they have some value in this one.
Could come down the free throw shooting, and understand this, Joe. Dayton, number 1 in conference play, getting to the free throw line. Do you know where VCU is? They're actually number 2. And you take a look at them making the free throws, number 1 in conference play. Dayton, 77.5% as a team from the free throw line. It could come down to the charity stripe tonight. In New Jersey, Joe, we'll keep it in college basketball. St. John's of the Big East taking on Seton Hall of the Big East. Seton Hall needs this victory here. St. John's, as we know, is the better team. And on the Kalshi Marketplace here, St. John's trading at a 63% chance to win this game, 37% chance here for Seton Hall. If we look at the total in this game and the side, St. John to win this game by 4.5 points, that's currently trading at 47% as a chance, and over 137.5, that's trading at 48%. Big East basketball in New Jersey from the Rock tonight.
So, listen, the problem with Seton Hall is they can't score, Donnie. They have no offense, right? They were leading the first go-around against the Johnnies by 15 in the second half and ended up losing by 5. But I'll tell you this, nobody has been better as a dog against the number this year than Holloway and Seton Hall. In fact, Seton Hall is 9-1 against the number this season as a dog here. This feels like it's going to be just an absolute bar brawl here. They're going to go at one another. I don't know if we're getting a whole lot of points in this one. It feels like maybe the first one is 65-70 wins, but it's not like the Johnnies aren't playing for the number 1 seed in the Big East tournament either, so they can ill afford to lose this game with UConn right behind them.
And as Joe points out, offense tough to come by for Seton Hall. There's 11 teams in the Big East. Effective field goal percentage here for Seton Hall, 11th in conference play. Turnover percentage on offense, 10th out of 11th. Shooting the three-point shot, dead last in conference play. How about inside the arc, Joe? Dead last in conference play. We'll see if the Johnnies can turn it up. Oh, no, yeah. Did we tell you that St. John's has the most efficient defense in conference play? Good luck, Seton Hall. We'll see what happens tonight in that game. And by the way, Joe, quick question for you. That game starts at 9 o'clock. Miami of Ohio starts at 9 o'clock. Who gets the better ratings tonight?
Yeah, well, I mean, Miami of Ohio should absolutely be. Well, it depends. Do you like offense? If you like offense, watch Miami of Ohio. If you like, missed shots, air balls, guys battling under, it's going to be a defensive battle there with the Johnnies and Seton Hall.
Fox Sports 1 is going to handle that St. John Seton Hall game. Then Miami of Ohio versus Ohio. That's going to be on ESPN2, both of them at 9 o'clock. Right back at it, Prediction Markets Edge on the early line Friday morning edition. So much good stuff to go over. Donnie Rightside along with Joe Ranieri. And one of those things that we love to talk about here, Miami of Ohio's undefeated season. Tonight, it's on the line. Final game of the regular season, Joe. They made it all the way through to the final night, 9 p.m. start on ESPN2. You know what it's trading at right now to be undefeated, Joe? 70% in the marketplace. A $100 investment on them getting it done pays back $137. Why? They are the favorite tonight, Joe. The simple question for the people out there, which includes yourself, do they get it done tonight?
Yeah, I mean, listen, this is a great market, Donnie, simply because you're not going to have to tie up a whole lot of money very long, right? I can tell you this. They haven't lost a game all year. They're playing with more confidence than any team I have seen in a very long time. They're also 7-0 in one-possession games this year. They've already beaten Ohio. Ohio doesn't shoot the three well. And they don't protect the perimeter well, which is not a good style here in order to beat Miami of Ohio. I'm sorry. I mean, you're looking at roughly paying what, 74 cents on a dollar for a team that has won 30 in a row and matches up great here. I'll take it all day long for a couple of hours, Donnie.
And by the way, if you're looking at like that graph going through, go back to January the 31st / February 1st here. They were trading at 10% to have an unbeaten season at steadily rose. And you see those little craters going back and forth and where they come, because February 27th, they were dropped down to 49% at around 6 p.m. So maybe some money coming in, some games getting completed, not having hot starts to start, and away they go. But Miami has a chance to be undefeated in the regular season with a victory tonight over the Ohio Bobcats. We'll see if they get there. Women's college basketball champion, UConn. No surprise, Joe. Trading right now in the Kalshi marketplace at 66% live to get that done. UCLA, South Carolina, Texas, and LSU. Understand this, too. The women's tournament, just like the men's, it only takes one bad game to get knocked out. The question is UConn going to have a bad game? Talking about undefeated seasons, UConn putting it up now.
Yeah, very hard. Much like Miami of Ohio, Donnie, very hard to bet against a superior team with more experienced head coach than you will ever find. They have been there. They've done this. UConn women's basketball expects to win, and they are playing at a ridiculous level this year. I think it's UConn and everyone else, and it is theirs to lose. So there you go. I mean, yes, there's a lot of variance, but no way would I be looking to fade UConn in this market.
You want to go against the grain, you take out the no contract, Joe, trading at 33 cents right now. $100 investment pays back $304, which means you're going to have 6 to 7 chances there to knock UConn out. The only question is they've been throwing haymakers all season long. But as we said, it only takes one game. UCLA's got a good ball club out there running, I think, undefeated in their regular season throughout the Big Ten. And then South Carolina always going to be there with Dawn Staley and the crew trading at 10% right now. Women's tournament on deck next. They're going through their conference tournaments this week, same as the men's next week. And away we go into March Madness.